Back when only Chapter 1 was out, Ralsei didn't seem all that suspicious. He was just this cute, fluffy boy who was, and still is, adored by the community. Back then, we were all just trying to figure out if he had any relation to Asriel beyond their names being anagrams of each other. But ever since Chapter 2 came out, this dude has become a lot more sketchy. Whether it be brushing off the Spamton neophyte completely when Susie wants to talk about it, or literally only letting us know about a world-ending catastrophe only right before it's about to happen, it's crystal clear that Ralsei has, at the very least, been hiding some very important information from us that could literally determine the fate of the world. Ralsei is definitely hiding things from us, and while I've come up with a few explanations for his behavior, the ultimate question still stands. Can we trust him? Before we get into the video though, be sure to subscribe for a theory video like this one every week. Only about 8% of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, and since I make a video like this every weekend, I'll be sure to make hitting that big red button worth your time. With that said though, let's get on to the video. Of course, we've got to start off with the simple question. What does Ralsei do that is suspicious or makes us doubt his reliability? Well, the short answer is a lot. I'd really like to be thorough here, but Ralsei has done so much weird stuff in both chapters so far, to the point that I see someone point out a new oddity with this guy every week. So I'm just going to go over the major points here. The biggest elephant in the room that tipped everyone off is of course the roaring. Why did Ralsei wait until it was literally about to happen to tell us about such an important thing? And one of the main reasons we're closing Dark Fountains in the first place. The roaring could cause such catastrophe and destruction, and Ralsei didn't think it was a good idea to tell us right from the get-go? It's such a huge piece of information that Ralsei went so long without telling us for no apparent reason. And if it weren't for Birdly about to cause the roaring, then we may not have even heard about it until much later. This is definitive proof in my eyes that at the very least, Ralsei is hiding a lot from us, and makes it very hard for me to trust him for all he says at face value. However, there are also more weird moments that occur with him. In the Spamton neophyte, despite Susie wanting to talk about it and Chris obviously being very shaken up by it, Ralsei brushes off the whole thing and gives off a vibe that he really doesn't want to talk about it for whatever reason. It just gives off a very weird vibe, and seems to imply that Ralsei knows something that we don't. Ralsei is also able to not only go to other dark worlds seemingly on his own, but also survive in other dark worlds outside of his own Dark Fountain, and gives absolutely zero explanation as to why he can do either of these things. For wanting to be the guide and explain things to us, he actually explains very little. There are many more examples and oddities like Ralsei diverting our attention each chapter, or possibly even knowing about saving, but it is clear that Ralsei is hiding a lot from us for one reason or another, and might even be lying to us about some things. But what does this all mean? Is Ralsei evil? Is he lying? Is he actually just Flowey too? Well, it's hard to come up with a definitive answer or anything, but I think there are some pretty good possibilities as to why he's acting this way. For starters, I just want to say that I genuinely don't believe that Ralsei is evil. Sure, he may be hiding things or may even be lying to us, but I don't think that he's hiding any malicious intent or is trying to hatch an evil scheme or anything. At the end of the day, Ralsei makes it clear that he's a pacifist. He encourages you to recruit everyone, he has a pacify spell, and even tries to make friends with the big bad of both chapters, even when it backfires against Chaos King. Of course, there is a world where Ralsei only wants you to befriend and recruit everyone for his own gain somehow, but I think it would be way too similar to Flowey from Undertale, and I doubt Toby would make the same story twice. I really do believe Ralsei is a good person, and that the kindness he shows to Chris, Susie, and all the other Darkners is genuine. Throughout the game, Ralsei makes it clear that he does legitimately care for his friends and wants to do the right thing, even if he's been a little cryptic about things. So, if he isn't evil, then what's his deal? Is Ralsei just lying to us? Well, the answer to that question is honestly pretty up in the air right now. The prophecy he tells us at the beginning of the game isn't really backed up by anything, so there is a chance that he made the whole thing up, or maybe even told Chris and Susie a slightly altered version. For all we know, the whole thing could be a complete lie. It's not like we know where the prophecy actually comes from, or if Ralsei has a book or something that tells us about it in the upstairs of the castle or anything. However, it is important to note that in the legend, Ralsei does use the term Angel's Heaven, which is terminology that's backed up by characters like Spamton talking about it. This leads me to believe that the legend is at least partially true, but it is still possible that he changed parts of it. For example, what if he changed who the three heroes actually are, self-inserting himself into the story? That would make sense to me, as Ralsei is oddly out of place in Chapter 2, almost like he isn't even supposed to be there at all. Everyone just kind of forgets that he's there, and this would make sense if Ralsei actually wasn't one of the three heroes of legend and just inserted himself into the story. We've been dancing around the main question for a while, but can Ralsei actually be trusted? It's a yes in some aspects and a no in others for me. At the very least, I don't think that we can trust Ralsei has explained every important thing to us yet. The Roaring has made it clear that Ralsei hid a lot from us, and who knows what else he's been hiding either. However, this isn't to say that he doesn't have a good reason for doing so. Once again, Ralsei has shown genuine care and companionship towards his friends, and I highly doubt he's evil. The reason I was able to come up with for his actions is that if Ralsei were to tell Chris and Susie about all the specifics, they may not want to follow through with it. Imagine a scenario where Ralsei's goal is to seal every single dark fountain, even his own. Chris and Susie would probably be very against this, at the very least because they wouldn't be able to see their dear friend Ralsei anymore. This would also explain why he only brought up the Roaring so late, since it has to deal with sealing more and more dark fountains to stop Calamity. This is of course only one possibility, but the gist is that Ralsei might be hiding his ultimate goal and the reasons around it, not because it's an evil scheme, but because it would result in a tough decision Chris and Susie would have to make for the good of the world. Overall, I trust that Ralsei is leading us down the right path and only wants the best for everyone, but it may involve hiding some things or even lying a bit to make the best outcome a reality. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. This was a pretty chaotic week for this channel, but I'm glad that this video managed to get out in time. I feel like I said most of what I needed to in the main video this time, so all I have left to say is be sure to subscribe. I do theory videos like the one you just watched every single week, so I promise to make it worth your time for clicking that red button. Also, only about 8% of you guys who watch these videos are subscribed, so let's try and see that number go up a little. Again, thanks so much for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.